You can build a custom bunk bed for your kids or for someone else for less than $300. I've done it twice in the last 6 months, and generally these run about $3,000 to $4,000 if they're handmade. I'm going to tell you how I do it. But before I show you how to make a $5,000 bed for less than $300, I need you to do three things. I need you to like this video, I need you to subscribe to my channel, and I need you to share this with another friend or DIYer. Thank you so much, and let's keep going. The basic idea of how I build these beds is I buy 2x4s and 2x6s and I laminate them. The lamination process is taking two boards and side joining them with an adhesive so that they become one structural member. You will have to do this about 8 times, one for each post or vertical member, and then one time for each of the stringers or horizontal members. I like to make beds. In fact, the other day I was saying how I could make beds for a living. This kind of goes without saying, and I've made several beds using lamination as part of the process. I want to emphasize that my lower stringers were made with laminated 2x6s in order to ensure that the center of gravity was lower. Once you have your beams laminated, you line them up on your workbench to do all the layout moves. In this case, I used a through mortise and tenon system to hold the stringers into the posts. I used my beam saw to make sure that all the edges were cut straight, and I used hand saws and chisels to cut all of the mortises, including the recesses and housing areas for the through mortise and tenons to sit into, which I think are extremely important to the structural stability of the bed. To simplify the process on my second bunk bed set, I did the exact same mortise and tenon on the bottom stringer and the top stringer. The only difference was the height of the member. In this case, the top was a 2x4 laminated and the bottom was a 2x6. It can go on, but it's tight, so I'm probably going to want to work this one a bit. To cope with the racking stresses and stylistically, I really wanted to use diagonal braces. So I put brace pockets in 8 places on the posts. Again, I laid these out so that they were exactly even with each other on the workbench. Last time I made a bed, I had to redo an entire post because one mortise was cut in the wrong place. Remember, you're doing this by hand, so that measure twice thing is not completely a myth. The last thing I learned from my previous build was that I wanted convincing curves in my layout. So I spent quite a bit of time taking each brace out and cutting the exact same curve in each one, using lateral cuts or rip cuts, and then carving the rest out with chisels. I simplified things by cutting all of the braces to the same length. Now, I would be absolutely thrilled to answer any questions in the comment section related to the exact placement of measurements and what I did with certain joints and joinery. And I would love to make a part 2 to this video, but I need to know that there's the interest there. So make sure that you share this and comment and subscribe to the channel and let us know that you want part 2 and you want to know how I put the rungs in, and we'll keep this moving. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you stick around, check out my live stream, and I will see you soon.